Today we are doing the most requested dish of all time. So I've recorded this vlog style. I was not even planning on recording this video, but you know, I was craving biryani ever since I got back from Uzbekistan, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna record this because they've been asking for this video even though I'm not planning to do this right now. I'm gonna do it because I'm making biryani and they need to see it. I'm just gonna show you how I make my biryani. Of course, there are different variations of biryani, so this is how I like it, and might I say it's very popular. So I have all of my whole masala, and then I have ginger, garlic, have some chilies, my onion, and then the cumin, coriander, and the cardamom I'm gonna grind together to get a powder. And then I have my garam masala there, and then I have my turmeric. Of course, I'm gonna use ghee. I'm also gonna need oil. So I'll show you anything else that comes up as I use it. I've got my garlic and ginger in the mortar and pestle, and I'm gonna pound that in there. I've chopped up my onion, and then I'm not sure that I'm gonna use all of that chili. I might use one or two, we'll see, because I am gonna add red chili powder as well. Oh, and I am making chicken biryani. Guys, I really hate measuring things, but I used 1/3 cup of oil, and I used 1/4 of the ghee. So 1/4 cup of the ghee and then 1/3 cup of the oil, and that seems to be about right. And honestly, I just eyeball things. I do not measure anything. I hate measuring. That's why I'm not a baker. So I'm gonna start with my onions, fry them in here, and then I'm gonna let that get golden. I have my heat on medium. This needs a little bit more oil, so it's not an issue. I'm just gonna add more oil. So there's one, and so far we are looking like this. It's browning, and I'm gonna actually butcher my chicken while that's happening. So I'm using whole chicken. This is 3 pounds, just a little bit over 3 pounds. I think it's 3.2. Those are the onions I took out, and I left some in that I'm gonna cook with the chicken and the rest of the ingredients. So here I butchered my chicken. I took off the skin as well. I'm gonna save the skin and make a chicken skin for Simba. I'm gonna add the whole spices. I'm gonna let that get toasted, and then oops, I'm gonna get that toasted, and then we'll add the chicken. So I can smell the spices. I'm gonna go ahead and add the chicken. Let's see. Looks good. So I'm gonna add my ginger garlic paste. So I've added the ginger and garlic. I'm gonna mix that in and let that go for a couple minutes. I would say I have about a tablespoon of cumin and coriander each. A tablespoon of coriander, tablespoon of cumin, and the cardamom that you saw earlier. I used the whole amount of cardamom, so yeah. I'm gonna add that in, and all the other spices. I've added my spices in. I've used a teaspoon, no, 2 teaspoons of each of the spices, like the turmeric 2 teaspoon, the chili 2 teaspoon, and the, what else? The garam masala 2 teaspoon. I'm now gonna add my salt as well. I just added the spices. So we're gonna do salt. So I'm gonna let that go for like toast the ground spices for like a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna add my yogurt. So I added a cup and like 2 tablespoons of yogurt in here. I'm gonna let that go for another minute or so. In the meantime, I'm gonna cut up my cilantro and also add it in here. So I've added about 1/4 cup of cilantro that I chopped up, and I added half a cup of water, and I'm just gonna let that cook until it becomes tender. And honestly, the chicken is like almost done, so that's why I added a little bit of water, not too much, and we're on our way. It's been about 10 minutes since I added the water, and it is done. You can see the oil has separated from the masala, and that looks good. I actually just realized that I don't have mint. I'm gonna see if Happy can get it for us. I'm gonna also soak my rice. I haven't done that. So I'm gonna soak my rice for like 30 minutes and gonna boil it, and we're gonna put it together, inshallah. I have 12 cups of water in this pot, and I've been soaking my rice for like 15 minutes now, so another 15 minutes, and we're gonna boil the rice and put the biryani together, inshallah. Like a very tiny amount of cumin, like a pinch of cumin, and 1 small bay leaf and 1 small black cardamom in here. I've also added salt. I forgot to mention, I added 3 tablespoons of salt in here. And by the way, I use kosher salt just for reference because it's not the same thing as table salt. And I really made sure that the water boiled very well before I added the rice. So I'm gonna let that go. You want to cook it not all the way. When you break it, you should be able to see like rawness in it. So this is how much mint they got for me. So I would say it's about a cup. And then I asked them to give me more cilantro, so I'm gonna add all of that cilantro. It's about 2 cups, I would say. The rice, I didn't cook it all the way. Something like this. And then I'm gonna use this pot. I have my gravy here, and then I have the onions, and I got the cilantro and the mint. I'm also gonna use some ghee. I am using a wide kind of saucepan, so I'm just gonna do 2 layers. So I've added 1 layer of rice to the bottom. I added a little bit of ghee to the bottom, a layer of rice, and then I added all the chicken gravy, and then I'm gonna put the other layer on top, some of the cilantro, mint, and then the rest of the onions. So I don't know if I mentioned, but I always do my biryani steaming in the oven. So once I layer it, I just put it in the oven for like 20 minutes, and I put it at like 450 temperature, and then I keep it in the middle rack, and after 20 minutes or so I just take it out. And once I take it out, I leave the lid on, and I just kind of let it like continue to steam for like 10 minutes. Then after 10 minutes I take off the lid. I put way more onion in the middle layer, so I kind of have less on top, but that's fine. So while the rice was doing its thing, I did make a cucumber and onion salad that I squeezed some lemon in and added some salt. And then I've also made yogurt with cilantro, a little bit of sugar, and a little bit of salt. I added a teaspoon of sugar in the yogurt and a little bit of salt, and that's it. I would add mint if I had any more left, but I didn't, so I just added a little bit of cilantro. And we usually eat banana with our biryani or like Somali rice. I usually don't even make the raita. I don't make the yogurt usually, so but today I thought I'll make that as well. This is what the biryani looks like. You see how it has that condensation. You kind of want to let it sit after you take it out of the oven and do its thing before you actually serve it. I don't use like artificial color on top of the rice, and I usually don't have saffron as well, so I just skip that, honestly. So this is how I normally make my biryani. I know for sure the artificial color is not gonna add anything to, taste-wise, but the saffron might do something. But, you know, I'm not that bougie. I don't have saffron around, so I usually just skip that.